Hey, welcome in, everybody. It's Hump Day, Wednesday, probably the best day of the week, if not tomorrow, the best day weather-wise. It is a gorgeous, gorgeous evening. I'm Chief Meteorologist Brad Panovich here at WCNC. Thanks for tuning in right now, and I'm glad you're watching. Hopefully you're outside watching us on your phone or doing some on the porch because the weather outside is just amazing. I mean, this is kind of the wheelhouse. There's two seasons I love here the most, spring and fall, and the 2 months I think have the best weather are April and October because every day feels like it's like today. You've got warm, sunny afternoons about 80, 82, and morning lows in the crisp, cool range in the 50s. Let's take a look outside right now from our Mr. Sparky Camera Network. We'll take the quad view here, which gives us a view of Monroe, Dallas, Charlotte, and Lake Norman. Notice anything about all these cameras? Blue skies, just a few fair weather clouds. It actually looks dry out there. You can tell it looks dry because the bluer the sky is, there's usually less haze. And haze is caused by a couple things. It can be caused by pollution, smoke, those kind of things. But humidity in and of itself can cause haze because the more water droplets or molecules you have in the air, the more obscured your view can get. You actually start to cloud it out. The satellite and radar shows we got mostly clear skies, just a few wispy cirrus clouds here and there. It really is a gorgeous looking view. And as we widen it out, I mean, it's late August and yet can't see a pop-up storm anywhere on the map. That is extremely rare as well. It tells you that we have a lot of sinking air, dry, stable conditions. Really kind of the perfect setup. Now, it's obviously below average, but not as much as you might think. We had that cold snap at the beginning of the month. That was actually more extreme, and that came with clouds and rain. The reason I say it was more extreme because at the beginning of August, the average high is closer to 90. We're at the end of August. The average high is 87. So we're 3 degrees cooler on average. So even with the same temperature, you're not as far below just because it does start to cool down this time of year because we do start to see cold fronts. But this morning, it was crisp and cool, 59. That is key. That is the first 59-degree temperature, which means below 60 or less, since May. So this is the only time all summer we've been in the 50s in the morning, and it happened this morning in Charlotte. Some neighborhoods were cooler, mid-50s. The coolest spot I could find this morning, and I mentioned this yesterday during our stream, I knew Mount Mitchell would be in the 30s, and sure enough, 38 degrees this morning at the top of Mount Mitchell. Boone was 43, and that's a low area. You go to higher elevations, like up at the top of Howard's Knob or Beach and Sugar, those temperatures were in the low 40s. So I think we'll be in the same ballpark again tonight because of the dry air. Current temperature as of 6:33, I mean, it's 79 degrees with mostly sunny skies. And the key part to all this, it's always team dew point. Remember, dew points in the 40s. That is unprecedented for summer. 50s is amazing. 40s, this is the autumn part of the forecast. The temperature, yeah, maybe in the morning, but not the afternoon. But this is an autumn-like air mass for the dew points because you don't typically see dew points this dry in late August. Now, one of the things that'll help us out tonight is called radiational cooling. What is that? Well, at night, if you have clear skies and very dry air, the ground absorbs the sunlight during the day, heats up. At night, it can release that in the form of what we call long wave radiation. If you have an infrared camera, this is what infrared camera picks up, right? Picks up that heat being transmitted by an object. That goes up and that creates cool air near the ground as long as you have clear skies. If you have clear skies, you kind of trap that radiational cooling. I'll go back this up for a second. That heat that's trying to go up at night, it can get trapped by cloud cover right there and keep it warm. If we don't have clouds, then it all escapes and you end up staying pretty cool. So as long as skies stay clear tonight, we will have a comfortable start to your day tomorrow, but some clouds could sneak in here. That's why you're seeing the morning lows close to 60, 61. If we have clear skies, you can pretty much bank on a 56 or 57. So it's a 5-degree swing just because of the cloud cover tomorrow morning. But the reverse happens in the afternoon. With clouds, you block out the sun, not as warm. So maybe upper 70s tomorrow. So it'll be a little bit of a trade-off as we go through tomorrow. So I'm thinking 59 for most areas, upper 40s. But again, crisp and cool to start your day, low 80s tomorrow afternoon. Now, yesterday, Tim and I talked about the potential of this low pressure system. I'm kind of backing off. I don't think this thing's going to happen because a lot of the guidance is really backing off of this potential low pressure system, especially our in-house model. It shows it dry Saturday. The European model is one model that still shows that, and it's something we'll keep an eye on. And Tim and I maybe will talk about this a little bit, about the potential if you're on the coast, but I think inland it's going to be dry. the air mass stays really dry, and it's hard to get rain when you have dew points in the 50s here in late August. So this is going to stick around. This is going to be a pretty nice pattern. If you got plans to go to the coast this weekend, kind of that last hurrah for summer, you might have some increasing shower chances, but it certainly does not look like a washout by any means. In fact, I think most areas would stay just isolated to scattered. And even for us here in Charlotte in the Piedmont, we're looking at maybe a 20-30% chance of a stray shower. Certainly nothing to change your holiday plans. If you've got cookouts going on, soccer games, you're going golfing, right now I think we're going to be mostly dry. I'm going to be the optimistic one here. We'll see how optimistic Tim is on this, because our 7-day rainfall forecast kind of shows the same. This little low may be staying suppressed, or what we call push to the south. And so the 7-day rainfall chances are pretty low. I mean, 1/4 inch or less. That's minuscule over the next 7 days. You want to average about an inch, and that is average. So that's pretty well below where we are. But there is one piece of guidance, and we showed it yesterday, and I'll show you just in full transparency. There's one outlier that continues to show going into the weekend, this low pressure system trying to develop, and you can see it Friday night right there into Saturday morning trying to kick up this low. But it doesn't look nearly as strong as it did yesterday. So this is Saturday into Sunday, kind of more towards South Carolina than North Carolina. So there are some changes even in the outlier of the guidance showing that kind of staying further south. So I would not anticipate this being, like I said, a washout of a weekend. It certainly looks like it's going to stay pretty dry. We look long range. Everybody wants to know, can we keep this going, Brad? I think we can. I mean, I think we're going to get well into September, which starts on Monday for Labor Day. Temperatures staying below normal. So the chance of seeing 90 is really beginning to get faint. Yeah, I would say faint. It's probably fading is what I want to say. I think we're done with the 90s. I really think it's not a crazy thing to say that we might have seen our last 90 already, because the later we get into September, the harder it is to get to 90, because the average date for that last 90 right now is September 12th. This goes through September 6th, and we expect below average temperatures. The average, 86 and 67. So it'll be really hard to see temperatures getting up close to 90. Now, could we see some mid and upper 80s? Absolutely. 100% think that's going to happen the end of next week. But getting to 90 could be really, really hard. So your 7-day forecast, Jeb and I were just talking about this. It's college football weekend, big game, Mayo Classic here in town. We've got the 49ers taking on App State. That's actually a huge game locally, and that's a really good matchup to see two of our local teams. Those are two teams in our viewing area playing here in Charlotte. That will be a great game. That is Friday night. And then Saturday, Sunday look great as well. I mean, it's going to feel like college football. Labor Day, 78 degrees. I know if you're going to the pool or lake, you probably want it hotter, but I think it's going to be a great weekend. And then going into next week, this is a 10-day forecast. This will get us to September 6th. No 90s in the forecast. Okay, that means 6 more days, and we'll be to the 12th, which is the average date for the last 90. So I'll probably jinx myself, and we'll probably have some crazy day where it just jumps to 90 one time. But the chances of 90 are going down. So we have kind of turned that corner to fall, and it does look like we might finally be staying on the cool side.